Hey everybody! Well, today we're going to take a look at this interesting kit. Now this is called Wallrobot, but it's obviously a ripoff of Wall-E, and so they needed to get around that copyright. Now this is also not a Lego set, even though it looks like it because of the box design and everything. So this is also another Lego knockoff, but this kit was only $39, $39 on Amazon. If this was a Lego set, it would probably cost at least $200. So definitely a nice price on this. Now there is 3 different versions of the robot that you can build for this. It's a 3-in-1 kit. And what I like also is that this has electronics, so it's app controlled, or what I prefer is the physical remote control that you see there on the right. Those are always a little bit better in my opinion, so this is really neat. Now on the back here, you can see that there are other versions of this model that you can build. There's a kind of a dinosaur looking kind of robot there. There's a smaller one there. So this is really cool. It's a STEM kit, which I'm not really into the whole STEM and computer programming type of stuff, but it's really cool. And it looks like we got some kind of stuff going on here. Remote control, gyro, driving simulation. Oh, this might be some stuff on the app. I'm not really sure. I just want to drive them around. I'm not really big on the whole app thing. So yeah, this will be really cool to build. I like that, Lego actually made a Wall-E kit years ago, and I actually did a video showing how to weather that. But I thought I would try this one out. All right, well, let's look at what the parts look like. So here's what you get when you open up the box. There's several bags of parts here. There's not a whole lot of parts. You'd think there'd be more to this. These are not numbered bags. I think Lego has some kind of patent on that or something. But I'll just separate all these out. So that's all the parts that you get there. And you also get the remote control right here. You're probably going to put some kind of a stick in here. And then when you take the back off right there, you can see that it uses 2, I think it's AA batteries inside there. So that's very cool. Here's the battery pack. Now this is kind of cool because it's actually rechargeable. So when you open this up, you can see the rechargeable battery inside there. And so you'll connect that to the connection on the inside right in there. And then when you're recharging it, you just unplug it and they give you a USB cable to connect it. And you got that kind of a connector on there. So that's pretty neat. So at least you don't have to buy batteries for the Wall-E robot. Here are the stickers. And they're kind of interesting looking. Different kinds of details that you can put on the Wall-E. I'm calling him Wall-E, even though he's not officially a Wall-E kit. And then we also have the instructions here. And they're pretty thick, but that's because all 3 versions of the robot is in this instruction book. So for Wall-E, you're only going to go up to page 37. But as you can see, it's all very much like the standard Lego type of instructions. So it's very cool. I'd say, hopefully this works out and hopefully there's no missing pieces. That's the only thing about some of these knockoff brands is sometimes it's missing pieces, but hopefully they're pieces that I have spares for from other Lego sets because I'm pretty sure that most of this is Lego compatible. Alright, so I will get started on this, and if there's anything interesting on the build, I will show it to you. Alright, here he is. He's completely built now, and wow, you know what? This was a great build. I really enjoyed this. It looks fantastic. I mean, look at him. He looks so good. Now, I'm going to bring out the original Lego version of Wall-E, and we can kind of take a look at the comparison, but this is really cool. The whole thing went together just like a standard Lego set. Even though they're not Lego parts, they actually fit really good. I mean, all the parts are exactly the same as Lego. I mean, they really are. Some people complain that the plastic's not as good or not the same. I didn't really have a problem with that with this. I have built some knockoff brands before where the pieces are clearly inferior quality, but I had no problem with these pieces at all. Everything went together really good. There's aspects of the design of this one that I actually like better than the original Lego version. But as you can see here, he looks really good. So let's take a closer look at him. Let's start with the front of him here. Now here you can see how the stickers really kind of add a good effect to this. And so he doesn't have, Wall-E, of course, on there, since that is trademarked, but it looks very similar. It even has a little bit of weathering on there. Now these stickers were a little bit tricky. Each one of these is a separate piece. Like you have to put each one of them on there, and you have to kind of line them up to make sure the lettering works. You're going to have a gap where the M is, but it can't be helped because these edges on here are actually curved. So it's going to have a little bit of a split there, but I think it looks just fine, and the fact that there's weathering on there looks good. There's quite a few stickers just for that front part. Here's the claws, And these are adjustable. You can actually open and close these. These don't move individually, but they do open and close. Here's the arm. He does have that striping like Wall-E has. That's a sticker there, and then there's another one on top, which also adds to the look. His arms will bend up and down like that. And you can see there's a little stopper piece right there. And then these also bend in and out, which I like. I like that it does that. And then here's the treads. Looks really good. The same tread pieces were used on the Wall-E, and those snap together nice and easy. Here's the side of him. I like the way they did the back here. 2 stickers, one there and one there. Looks really good. There's the battery pack down there on the bottom. I like this piping that they use on the top. That looks really good. And here's the other side. All right, let's take a look at his head. I really like the way the head turned out, the way those blue eyes show right in there. Now I did have a little bit of trouble getting, it was either this bottom part here or this top, well I think it was the bottom. Maybe it was the top, I can't remember, but it was hard to kind of, get them on there because you're snapping this piece against that piece that's already assembled, and trying to get the black rim inside there the way it's supposed to, like see from the side view. I had a hard time lining that up, but eventually I kind of figured it out. But I like the framing that goes on around his eyes. Here's the side view. I like that sticker, that M, and then there's another sticker up here. See, look at these stickers. These stickers look really good. They definitely add some detail to them, and I really like that. Here we've got some, looks like vents or something. Here's the back. I love those little cables that are sticking out. Wall-E had cables like that as well. Here's the other side. Now the head does not pivot, like this. It's stationary, like where you see it right here, but it does turn. You can turn his head, and it's very smooth. It's like a really smooth turning action right there. And I kind of like it that it wobbles a little bit when he moves. I'll show you the motorized action of him here in just a little bit. I just kind of wanted to show you the awesome detail. So he looks really good. I'm actually very, very pleased with the quality of this. Now for comparison purposes, here's the original Lego version right here that came out about maybe 12 years ago, whenever the movie came out. Very short-lived kit. I did a whole video about this Lego version of Wall-E, and I also showed how to weather him because I bought another one and I weathered him to make him look more realistic, and you can check that video out. It's one of my earlier videos. But here you can kind of see the difference in the way everything's constructed, like the head here versus this head. This one does have some adjustability for the curvature of the top part of his eyes. The whole neck can be adjusted lower or higher. You can pivot his head and stuff like that. It's kind of a pain to set that up, but you can go ahead and do all of that. So yeah, I mean that looks really good. You can also see it comes with a different kind of fingers. See how they kind of use these panel pieces right here? And this one had these. I kind of not sure what I like better, to be honest with you. I mean, they're both fine. This one has a little more posability. Sorry if there's dust on this. This guy's been sitting here a long time. But you can see right here that you can bend these. These are more in a fixed position, but I kind of like the way those look almost a little better. The front here, of course, this is based on the real Wall-E, so the detail is a little bit different than you see here, but the overall design is, pretty much similar. This Lego version only came out for about a year. It had some issues with the neck mechanism, and Lego actually had to add some new pieces to this and add an addendum to the instructions, and I'm sure that's probably why the kit was only out for a year. And it was very short-lived, and it's too bad because it's actually a really neat kit. And maybe Lego can re-examine this kit and put a new version of him out. That would be fantastic, because Wall-E, I mean, let's face it, he's so popular. This one has the front door that opens, and I made a makeshift little trash bundle inside there. This one here does have an opening as well. I didn't make a trash bundle for him, maybe I'll do that. But he's also got a little storage area in there, which I think is really cool that they did add that feature. I will say that I like the piping around this version. I think that piping looks better than what they did on the Lego version, where it's just tiled. Now don't forget, I mean, this one is about 11 years old. They also had the little cricket character on that one, which I thought was really neat. This one had, now I did modify this. I painted this. Lego did not have this. It was just a plain couple of panels on there, and I thought it looked kind of strange not having that stripe, but he does have the ability to bend his arms out because it's on a ball joint there, and this one also moves forward and backward like the real Wally did. And I think the real Wally also had where he could lower his arms in another channel right over here. The legs, I mean the treads are done a little bit different here. As you can see, there's a little more, I don't know, it looks a little more complicated on this one. And here's the back of both of them. You can see the difference. But I do think that, you know, the stickers do add, I mean, of course, you know, it's not an official Wally kit. He's not going to look exactly like Wally with those stickers. But the stickers do add a lot to him. And I did weather the other one. I'll show you the weathered one, too, because it looks a lot more realistic. This one has the tubes up here, while this one has the tubes over here. I'm not sure which one I like better, to be honest with you. The head, I don't know, there's good and bad about both designs of the head. I kind of almost feel like, well, I don't know, I almost kind of feel like I like this one better, but this one looks more solid and full, so I'm not really sure. Let me show you the weathered one. Alright, so I put some of my modeling skills to work because I was curious if I could actually weather a Lego set to see if I could make him look more realistic, and so I did. So I did all the weathering on here. I used pastels for this, did a little masking. I used some panel line paint to make him look all dirty and, you know, weathered like the real Wally does. I even put that kind of sideways looking C on there and tried to match it up to how he looked on the movie. Got some weathering there too. Panel line painting here to make those look nice and dirty and grimy, as well as the treads right there. This turned out really good, way better than I would have ever thought. The little drip marks on the side, painted the black and white stripes there. And I even put the little eyebrows that would go up and down. I used pastels for that as well. You can see some drip marks on the side, back here. Same thing over here, there's some more dripping and stuff going on the side right there. So yeah, I mean, you know, I just wanted to, I suppose you can weather this guy as well. I mean, you can always weather him if you want to. Just don't interfere with the movement of the wheels, especially for this one, because the motorized wheel is on the front here. These ones are coasters. But, you know, if you want to weather this guy, you most certainly can do that, since he already has a little bit of weathering. I don't think I'm going to weather this one. This one was an experiment just to see if I could weather a Lego set, and it actually turned out pretty good. Maybe I have enough spare pieces to make that little cricket guy. I could put him on here somewhere. But yeah, just a little bit of comparison there. Alright, well, let's see what he looks like when he actually moves. Alright, so now on the bottom of Wally here, we got the on-off switch right here, so we'll just flip that on. Okay, and here is the remote. Now you do build these little joystick things, and you have a choice on how you want this to work. You have these switches right here. Now the way I have this arranged is your typical remote where both of these forward is forward, both of these back is back, and then this is right, and then this is left. And then you can also drive him forward and then turn right, or drive him, or I should say drive forward and turn left, and then drive forward and turn right. So that's how that works. So on the back here, there's also the batteries, as I showed you. So you just turn this on, the light shows you it's ready to go, and then you just go forward and backward, and you can turn them, you know, completely 360. Now, I gotta say, I don't know why a lot of these companies make these, whether they be robots or cars, it's just too fast. Why does everything have to move at 100 miles an hour? It's so hard to control these. Why can't they make the motors a little bit slower so that you can control it, you know, a lot easier? They maybe should have had an adjustable motor on here, like adjustable speed. The R2-D2 from the Disney Build Your Own Droid from the Star Wars themed parks in the Disney World and Disneyland, they suffer from the same problem. I did a review on that guy, and he moves way too fast. But I will say this one moves really, really good. You can see how the treads are turning like that. It looks like his head's getting turned around. I'm not sure if I can try to readjust his head here. But yeah, I mean, this is really cool. Let me fix his head. So we'll do a little bit lower perspective on this. Now he works really good. I mean, the remote is absolutely fantastic. Now I'm running him on carpet, which, you know, puts more of a drag on the battery. But because he does move so fast, it makes it a little easier to steer him around, because otherwise, man. In fact, let me show you how fast he moves and how hard he is to control on a harder surface. Okay, so we'll use this board now. I mean, he takes off, it's like he peels out, you know, because he moves so fast. I mean, he's not terrible to drive on a flat surface like that. And it definitely is less of a drag on the motor and the battery. But he works pretty good. I mean, he steers very well, very well. He's really cute. I mean, Wally. I mean, let's face it, Wally's adorable. I like that this one works, though. You know, Lego didn't offer this kind of a functionality. Now, I did not download the app, and I prefer these kind of remote controls, because the problem with an app is that you don't have a physical handle like this, and so you're constantly staring at your phone because you don't know where your fingers are on the actual virtual controllers. And I hate that, because you're spending more time looking at your phone than looking at Wall-E. The thing about this is I don't have to look at this. I can, you know, control him without having to look at the remote, and it's so much better. So I prefer the physical remotes way better than I prefer any of the virtual ones. He's a little noisier on the on the thing. He's really fun to drive around, I gotta say. Oh man, I love this. This is really, really cool. By the way, here are the extra pieces that you get with this. They do give you 3 extra pieces of the treads, which is really nice. There's a few, there's another tube and some of these. Now, I'm assuming some of this is probably used on the other 2 alternate builds of the robots on that. But there's actually not a lot left over, so at least, you know, they pretty much use what you buy. So the only thing that I would say that I wish they would have done better is the battery. So down here, you can see the battery compartment right here. Now you just open this like this, but the problem is you have to unplug this thing to charge it with the USB cable right here. So you got this, like I showed you, this thing here. So you're going to have to unplug that, attach this, and then plug this into one of those power blocks and plug it directly in. I really wish they would have had some other place where you can just plug, you know, the cord in. Just leave the battery in there and just plug this in on the bottom, or maybe back here somewhere, and just plug it in. That way you don't have to keep unplugging and plugging this in, because eventually that's going to get worn out from all the you know, use that you're going to get out of it. But the battery does tuck in there pretty good. I don't know how long the battery lasts. I didn't charge it when I built this, so I'm assuming they already had, you know, some charge in there. It's probably pretty close to being full. It's not attached when you buy it. When you get the kit, of course, they're not going to keep it attached because it'll drain the battery. But it works really well, and I think it's actually pretty cool. I'm kind of glad actually it has a rechargeable battery. At least you don't have to make room for AA's or AAA's. This would probably use quite a few, I would imagine. But this is a really, really cool set. I'm actually very, very pleased with the way this turned out. I really like the way he looks. I mean, look how cute he is. It's Wall-E, you know, you gotta love Wall-E. So, $39. I got this on Amazon for $39. Like I said, if this was a Lego set with the electronics, they probably would have charged a couple $100 for something like this, $150, $200, especially the way they're charging for stuff nowadays. And so I'm glad to see that there are some alternatives to spending a ridiculous amount of money for the very same thing. You know, I mean, let's face it, Lego's starting to get a little out of hand with their prices, but I think this is a fantastic little Wall-E, and he works really well. And if you use the app and do the other stuff with it, you'll have even more options, but I'm not really into all that stuff. But there we go. That is the Sillbird, or is that what it's called? I think Sillbird, I think, is the brand. I'll put some words down here to show how it's spelt. But Sillbird, I think, is the brand that makes this, and it's very, very cool. $39 for an operational Wall-E. Very, very cool. Alright, well that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. And thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate that, and I'll see you on the next video, so have a good one.